In this video, I'm going to go over how to maximize our screen real estate so that we don't have to scroll from left to right in order to see all of our data. You can see we have quite a bit of data here, and to have to scroll from left to right is going to be very time consuming, and it's going to be a little bit inconvenient. So we're going to fix that by making it so that our data is viewable without scrolling left to right. So to do that, you'll see our column D here is where flight 1 starts, and then we have flight 2, excuse me, flight 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well, we're going to click on column D. Now, very important, when you click on column D, do not unclick. What will happen if you unclick is instead of highlighting data, you'll actually move column D. So you'll see if I which I unclicked, and now I'm trying to drag. So I drag it, and what I've done is I've just switched column D with column E. So my flight 2 has become column D, and my flight 1 is now column E. I'm going to move it back by simply coming up and clicking on it and dragging it back into its original position. But here's how you have to do this. So let's click on column C because we don't want to change column C right now. Now, this time when I select column D, I am not going to unclick. Very important, you hold down your left click and drag all the way over to column M, which is our last column that we want to have included. And we're going to move our column width by positioning our mouse on one of the lines in between any one of the columns. It doesn't matter. You'll see the double-ended arrow. So it doesn't matter which one, any one inside of our selection. And then we're just going to drag that to the left. And we want to essentially have it so that we can see flight 1, 2, 3, all the way up to flight 10, but we want to be able to see the flight number as well. So now you can see how we've adjusted the width of these columns by first selecting them and then by shrinking them. And we still can see our flight numbers. So that's the overview of how to maximize our screen real estate. Let's take a look here quickly, though. See our class period. We have this large column. Let's take that and let's go ahead and shrink it down so that we just have the numbers. We don't need necessarily to see the label class period in its entirety. And we could also take and maybe center justify that. Now let's take and let's shrink down this column a little bit. So we have our swept forward, our elliptical, and delta wings. So we're just moving it to get rid of the W there. We'll call that good. Now our time, we could do the same thing with our time as well, because you can see we still have range hanging off here. So let's get rid of the time. We don't necessarily need to know the exact time that these flights occurred, and we can always change the column width later if we would like to. Now let's select mean, median, mode, and range by left clicking and dragging over without unclicking until they're all highlighted. Then we unclick. Now let's change the thickness of these columns by grabbing and dragging it over. Now you can see we no longer have to scroll left to right. All of our data is in front of us, and if need be, if you have a smaller screen and smaller screen resolution, you could even shrink some of these more. For example, we could shrink these down even more. So that's how you can maximize your screen real estate and avoid having to scroll from left to right.